My name is Borino. I'm your coach, I'm your host. We do live shows for you to get you more leads, get you more listings, get more clients. How is everybody? Good to see you. Rafael is ready to do this. Outstanding. Good morning to you. Philip is here. Michael, Antonio joining us. Lovely to see Maggie and Dan, who wants to learn some good stuff. All right, guys, you ready? Today I have something for you. I know you're working your ass off. The reason you like to hang out here on Rockstars with us or watch this on YouTube, watch my videos, listen to my podcasts, is because obviously you want to help more clients. You want to serve more clients and make more money. Nothing wrong with that. You want to be successful. You want to do well. You want to feel good about what you do, and you want to have a lifestyle and the freedom that comes with it. So you lead generate, you run ads, you prospect, you do the stuff I tell you to do. Sometimes not. But the trick is this. Your leads are not worth shit. Your leads will not come to you. We are in a very crowded, very competitive, very instant-oriented market. And your prospects are complacent. They're distracted. There are a bunch of other agents going after them. So it requires a consistent, persistent follow-up to start converting these folks into appointments, into listings, into commissions, happy clients, referrals, all that good stuff. So what I have for you today, I actually prepared notes, believe it or not. I take this very seriously. So what I have for you today is 5 specific strategies we're going to go over. How to take those leads you have and how to start turning them into appointments and leads. Now, without being pushy, without being arrogant, without being salesy, without being needy, without using the traditional aggressive strategies that I know you don't like, it's not comfortable, I don't like, and most importantly, your prospects don't like. I mean, who wants to be sold? Who wants to be pressured? Who wants to be manipulated? Or worse, who wants an agent who is needy, desperate after the commission and a listing without the genuine desire to help that client? I know you don't want that. So that's what we're going to talk about. I also have an invitation for you if you would like me to help you to build a complete system in 5 weeks, 4 weeks, really 5 sessions. I'm opening the Expired Bootcamp, which is a hands-on training, online live sessions, 5 classes where I teach you. Here's where you find the best leads, which expireds. I mean, come on, they're raising their hands. They're already listing with somebody. That's a no-brainer. That's what got me from being homeless to being successful. So I'll show you where to find them, how to approach them, again, without being needy, salesy, desperate, what tools you need. I'm going to show you one of them right now. How to get appointments, how to handle objections. The entire program is covered. Plus, you will get 2 books from me that come with it. The Expired Plus book and the Path book. It's part of the package. It's only $197 a month. Stay for as long as you want. If you just want to do the boot camp with me, awesome. Would love to have you. If you want to stay longer, the Path is an ongoing training program with all kinds of books and systems. I'll explain later. Don't want to overwhelm you. But if you need more listings right now, if you want to take the path I took from being homeless and broke to doing well, Expireds was my answer. And I'll show you exactly step by step. I walk you through the entire system. Not only that, I'll help you build it. In 5 weeks, your system will be operational. That's my commitment to you. Go to goborino.com/bootcamp. Check it out. Sign up. All right, friends. And with that, Les is here. Nicole is here. Derek, good to see you. Good to see everybody. Now, let's start with the 5 tips. I'm going to start writing them on the board. Get ready. Tip number 1, get good systems. Before you can have a good follow-up, you must have good systems. And you need 2 that are essential. System 1 is a lead generation system. That means you're getting quality data to begin with. Data provider like Espresso Agent, Sales Dialers, Vulcan 7, Redx, Landvoice, all these will help you get correct names, emails, phone numbers. Of course, not always, not with everybody. But the more data you have, the better, not just your lead generation and your prospecting, but your follow-up. Because now you can communicate in multiple channels. We'll talk about multiple channels in just a moment. But start with good lead generation systems. Start with good data source. Subscribe to one, test them. My recommendation is start with Espresso for $29. If you use the code Borino, you can try them, see how you like them. If you have the budget for it, try Vulcan. Sales dollars, again, all good. Yes? So start with that. System number 1, good lead generation system. System number 2 you're going to need is a good CRM. Good contact management system is essential because it will help you stay organized. Once you program the sequences, your follow-up sequences. And you should have one for expireds. You should have one for your sphere of influence. You should have one for sell by owners. You should have one for buyers. Each one should have their own sequence. Now, don't get me confused. Don't confuse drip campaign. I hate that word. That was a Chinese torture. Dripping on people. You know what I mean? So don't confuse that. That's not follow-up. Email, yes, it's part of it. Mail, yes, part of it. Sequence is part of it, but it's not the answer. You get me? So good contact management system. 3 that I recommend. If you're on the budget, you're starting out, check out Realty Juggler. Realty Juggler. Good, inexpensive. Tell them Borino sent you. It's a really good system. It will get the job done. It's not too complicated. It doesn't have a whole bunch of stuff. It's not expensive, inexpensive, simple. You're going to learn it over the weekend. Use it. Realty Juggler. You want to step up? Go to LionDesk. LionDesk. Good, robust system for $25 a month will do everything you need it to do. Email clients, follow up with them, prompt you, send them text, do all that stuff, video and stuff. Okay? If you want to go all out, you have the budget, you've done some deals, you know how to do basic follow-up, go to Follow Up Boss. Besides, you have a million others. So pick one, learn it, use it. Don't rely on your broker's contact management system. Get your own. So that's number 1. Start with good systems. Number 2, motivated leads. Follow up with motivated leads. Yeah, I always get so entertained when these so-called trainers tell you, oh, with the right message, you're going to motivate somebody. You're going to inspire them. You're going to influence them. Bullshit. Bullshit. If somebody doesn't have a need, if somebody doesn't have a problem, you don't have a prospect. Work with leads that are motivated. Work with people who have a need to move, who have a desire to live somewhere else, who want to buy, who want to sell. No amount of even the best follow-up will motivate somebody. I mean, watch this. Come do the boot camp with me. Do the expired boot camp with me. I will show you how you can do 2, 3, sometimes 4 expireds a month. Sign up right now. Here's the URL. Are you motivated? Have you signed up yet? See what I mean? Either you do have the desire to succeed, either you do have the need to get better, to get my system, to really learn it, and this time not let it sit on the shelf and do it, or not. It's the same with your clients. You can't make them. You can inspire them as they do want to move. You can help them. You can build trust and connection, familiarity. We'll get into that in just a moment. But you cannot motivate them. That's impossible. They'd be like dancing with the pig. You know what I mean? Both of you get dirty. Pigs likes it. You get annoyed. So don't try that. All right? Listen to this. Your prospect must have a problem. If they don't have a problem, you cannot offer a solution. If you can't offer a solution, you don't have a client. So make sure the people who you work with have a certain problem. Now, when I say problem, I don't mean a problem. You know what I mean. Don't get stuck with wishers. You ever had a client who says, we're thinking about selling, if somebody offers us 1.3 million, we'll sell. And you're like, what the fuck? The house is worth 350,000. You will never get 1.3, at least not in the next 20 years. You have people like that, wishers. That's not a client. That's not a prospect. Why? They don't have a real need. They don't have a real desire. Does that make sense? So drop those. If you're convinced that these people are wishers, they have their head up their ass or head in a cloud and they think they own a castle if it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,300 square foot house, it's time to say adios, sayonara, goodbye, auf Wiedersehen, ciao. Okay? So what is the definition of a lead? A lead is a prospect who has a specific, I wrote this down. A lead is a prospect who has a specific plan to move within the next 6 to 8 months. Those are the people you want to work with. If they say, well, a year or two, too far in advance, too far out. You're going to spend a lot of time following up. You're going to spend a lot of time, money, energy, and there's still a very small chance you're going to lock those in. Why? Because the need is still small. It's still too far in the future. Too much can change. 6 to 8 months, specific plan, specific need. Make sense? All right. Next. Here are the 2 questions you ask your prospects. Question number 1. Ideally, how soon would you like to be in Florida? Ideally, how soon would you like to be in Florida? That will tell you. And what you watch for is, yes, the words that they use, but also their energy, their vibe, their reaction overall. Is there excitement? Is there passion? Is there interest? or are they too cold, too aloof? The second question, what needs to happen before you guys can move? What needs to happen before you guys will be ready to move? That will tell you instantly. So once you have a conversation and connection with them, start asking these questions. You will be very clear. Here's the hard part. The hardest part for you is to hear the truth. The hardest thing for you will be to let go of those who are not motivated, not realistic, not ready anytime soon. That's the hard part. It's the scarcity mentality. There's not enough good clients out there. There are not enough good people. I'm here to tell you, my friends, within the next hour, which is what we're going to spend together in this training, there'll be 601 homes sold. About 10 homes a minute. 601 properties sold. There's plenty of business. If you do this right, if you follow up right, if you use my systems, if you follow my advice, you can have plenty. And some of you have already posted here on Rockstars and everywhere else that you're doing well, you're doing okay, just learning, mastering these systems. Are you with me? Make sense? Strategy or tip number 3. Address a specific problem. Address just to us a specific problem. So as you follow up with these folks, and we'll talk about channels and methods of follow-up in just a moment, be clear. Here is the worst possible follow-up. You ready? Get this. Hi, Jim. This is Borino with ABC Real Estate. I just wanted to follow up with you to see if you're ready to list your house. Don't ever do that. Don't ever torture your clients like this. Never, please. There's no connection. It's a needy, low-status position, generic, vague, my interest first. I don't give a shit about you, don't know anything about you, don't care. I just want to get paid. Nobody wants that. So address a specific problem. Remember this, it is not about listing and selling. That's not what the client is interested in. It is not about you. They don't give a two shits about you. And I don't mean it in a rude way, but that's the reality. They don't care about you. Just like you don't give a shit about me. You don't care about me. You care how I can help you, how I can make you better, help you make more money, get more clients, make it easier, less expensive, less stressful, more enjoyable, more profitable, so you have more money and more freedom. That's it. I'm okay with that. That's my mission, because if I do my job right, some of you will come and do the bootcamp and get my systems and pay me money. Everybody wins. I like that. Just like, yes, you will help your clients. Now, some of them you connect with and maybe you will become friends. That's okay. The bond is fine. But just understand your job is to solve their problem. Focus on them and their needs and their problems. And more than just needs, their wants. Are you with me? So solve their problem. Now, tip number 2 under this, address a specific problem. It is not about listing and selling. That is not the sexy, exciting part. So if you approach your follow-up with messages that strictly focus on listing and selling the house, you're addressing a very small portion of people who focus on that. What is the sexy, exciting part? Living somewhere else. Looking for that beautiful beachfront property in Florida they've been talking about for the last 10 years. Living that beautiful large house where every goddamn kid that drives them crazy now can have their own room, they can close the door and have peace and quiet. That's what they want. So work with them on stuff that matters to them. How do you find out? Ooh, big one. You ready? You ask. You have a conversation. Just like I ask you guys, how can I help you? What do you need from me to make you better? You come back and you say, give me some good lead generation systems. That's what we talk a lot about, how to get high probability leads. Guess what? I'm teaching an entire boot camp on that. What else do you need? Help me with follow-up. I get these leads. I need to convert. I need to get more appointments with these motivated leads. Guess what? This will help you. Specific. Stuff that matters to you. Stuff that you want to hear. But Borino, you're pitching this boot camp. I need to tell you about it. It's my responsibility to invite you to a program that I believe will change you, that will help you with your business, just like it's your obligation and duty to offer your service to your clients. It is not just about offering tips and advice. It is about saying, look, I can help. Let's get together for 30, 40 minutes. We'll go over everything. What is the most a qualified buyer will be willing to pay you? How much cash you're going to put in your pocket? How long realistically will it take to sell? And how we can get you that lovely home down in Florida. That's your job, is to offer your service and do it with confidence, not salesy, not arrogant or pushy, but confident. Because if you don't trust yourself, if you don't believe in yourself, how the hell do you expect your clients to? That's never going to happen. If I don't believe in myself as a coach, if I don't believe that the shit I have will change your business and help you, I'm screwed because there's no way in hell I would ever convince you. Does that make sense? All right. Now, so remember, underneath the specific problem is something that's going to make them feel better. There are 10 reasons, 10 needs that your potential sellers, majority of the clients you're going to work with, not just expireds. All this, by the way, applies to 90% of your leads. Why do they move? Need more space. 52% of the sellers sell because their house is too small, according to the annual statistics from the NAR. Need more space. They need more room. They're cluttered. They want to feel better, more space, more privacy. Number 2, want better schools. Kids are getting older. They want better schools. So number 3, job transfer. It's one of the most frequent reasons people move, especially in the area where I live, near Washington, D.C. People come and go all the time. Number 4, don't want to remodel old house. They want to move into something that's nice, new, preferably doesn't need any work. Number 5, downsizing. Older people need smaller home. Number 6, divorce. Number 7, probate or estate sale. Number 8, want to be closer to the family. That's a big one. Family, connection, stay close to the grandkids. Number 9, better weather. That's why people move to Florida or California or Arizona. Number 10, better, safer neighborhood. There are others, but these are the most frequent ones. So if you start understanding their position, their problem, you can address that specific problem. So instead of saying that bullshit of, are you ready to list? You say, well, you guys, I don't know if you saw the weather report. We're going to get some shitty winter again. Maybe it's time for you to enjoy the lovely sunny weather down in Florida. What do you say? Very different from, are you ready to list? Are you with me? All right. Next, number 4. MCC. 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 Multi-channel communication. The more channels you can open to communicate with a certain prospect, the more impact, the more reach, the more effective your follow-up becomes. Multi-channel communication. So what does that mean? Here is what that means. Face-to-face has the most impact. Face-to-face communication, face-to-face conversation, just a chat face-to-face, has the biggest impact. It's memorable, it's impactful. We're wired that way. This is not about selling. This is about our neurobiology because we're wired that way. We're meant to have face-to-face communication. Because there's body language, there's tonality, there's eye contact. There's so much going on that we register on conscious and unconscious level. So if at all possible, have a short conversation. That's why I encourage you, go see a couple of expired listings. Go chat with some for sale by owners. Go engage some people when they come to your open house. Very powerful communication. For those of you who I had the privilege and the chance to meet in person, it's different. Our relationship is different because we had that eye-to-eye, belly-to-belly. So number 1, face-to-face. Number 2, phone conversations. That's where the magic happens because it's a two-way communication rather than sending a postcard, which is fine if that's part of your arsenal. It's great, and sometimes that's all you got is to mail them something. That's better than nothing. But if at all possible, ask questions, have conversations, because addressing their problem, understanding how motivated they are, their timelines, can only happen if you have a back and forth. So deploy all these channels. Next, texting, email, social media, video, and mail. Now, what if you don't have some of those? Let's say you don't have their email. Well, next time you're on the phone, hey, wanted to email something real quick. What's your email? Type it in, put it in your contact management system, add it to the sequence. Now they can hear from you. Now they can have a conversation with you. Now they can get emails from you. Now you can mail them something. The more channels, the better. Keep the variety as wide open as possible. And the number 5. Can you guys see it? You can't see the last one. So this one goes to T. Okay? R-A-F-C-T. R-A-F-C-A-T-T. Not quite. R-A-F-C-A-T-T. Oh, it's the one missing. R-A-F-C-T. R-A-F-C-T. Here's what it stands for. That's the secret to your good follow-up. Repetition. That's the number 1. Repetition. Good follow-up must have repetition. The message must repeat. Notice how the biggest marketers, smallest marketers, online, offline, brick and mortar, somebody who's brand new into the system, somebody who's been doing this for 300 years, everybody deploys repetition. If you engage in marketing message, advertising message, follow-up message, it is very seldom the first one. There is some repetition. So be prepared that your message must be repeated. My experience, and yours will probably be close, if not the same. It takes 5 to 15 follow-up touches before you engage the prospect and get an appointment. In most cases, it took me 5 to 15. That was the bell curve. It took 5 to 15. Now, here's the good news, my friends. You, my rock stars, will love this. Because the majority of the agents give up around contact 3. I've been at this for over 20 years. That number hasn't changed much. Most agents give up too soon. Don't give up too soon. Please write this down. Don't give up too soon, because their no very often means not yet. And the reason not yet is this. We'll get to it in just a second. So be consistent, be persistent. Repetition leads to awareness. They become aware of you. It very seldom happens on the first day, especially with high probability leads like expireds and for sale by owners. They're bombarded by a lot of most incompetent agents reciting scripts, doing the same old, same old. That's why very often if you deploy these shitty strategies, you're going to hear shit like, nah, you all sound the same. Yeah? Be different. But with repetition, you need to create awareness. They need to be aware of you. It's going to take a little bit of time, because from awareness comes F, which is familiarity. They become familiar with you. They become familiar with your voice, your name, your face. That's where familiarity comes from. Repetition creates awareness, creates familiarity. From there, we go for comfort. That means you position yourself not a needy salesperson, not somebody reciting the same thing, are you ready to list, but somebody who they're comfortable with, to the point where they can pick up the phone and says, hey, Borino, there's a listing around the corner, just went up, I noticed the sign. Can you tell me how much they're asking for it? And they can feel free to ask me this question, because they know I'm not going to pummel them, I'm not going to pressure them, I'm simply going to give them some helpful answers. Your positioning here is an advisor, not a salesperson. Yes, you're going to get paid. Yes, you're a salesperson because you need to sell their house, you need to sell your service. But you do it from a position of contribution, not neediness. You put these together, repetition, awareness, familiarity, comfort, you end up with a T, which is the foundation of your business. And that's this. They trust you. They trust you are their best choice. They trust that you will take good care of them. They trust that they can do business with you and you will do the best job for them possible. Trust. Repetition, awareness, familiarity, comfort, trust. Because if they don't trust you, they will never do business with you. There are only 2 reasons people turn you down. There are only 2. There are only 2. They don't have a problem. Moving doesn't matter to them. It's not important. Or they don't trust you. They trust somebody else more. They believe somebody else is a better choice. Somebody else will do about the same service for less like you. Or somebody else will do better than you. That's the only 2 reasons. To fix that, have a good system in place. Work with motivated leads. Address their specific problem. Deploy multi-channel communication and repetition, awareness, familiarity, comfort, trust. Always in that sequence. Now, this doesn't take months and months and months. I mean, sometimes it does, and sometimes you have to stay with it. Remember, 5 to 15. And if you are uncertain, I would rather follow up than lose a lead, lose a listing, lose an opportunity to help somebody and get paid. I'd rather do that. So when in doubt, follow up while getting more. When in doubt, when you're not certain about somebody, because very often they will tell you, well, no, we're going to probably go to the same agent, or we don't know what we're going to do. That's very often not an objection. That's just an expression, we don't trust you yet. We're hesitant. There's fear. That's the opposite of trust. And there's not enough trust for them to really open up and tell you, well, you know what, that house in Florida sold and we worry that we're not going to find the same deal. Okay? Elizabeth has a good question. Let me show you what she's asking. She says, that's all I hear in a year, in a few months. Getting the right now is where I struggle. Well, you can't make somebody to make the move right now. But here's a good question to ask, Elizabeth. What's holding you back, guys? Why not right now? Now, yes, there needs to be some familiarity and some comfort for them to tell you the truth. That's why the repetition is so important. But remember, you cannot motivate somebody. What is the real fear? What's really holding them back? Maybe their problem is not that big. Maybe they will tell you. And here's another question you can ask. This is all straight from the systems I teach you. If you could have it any way you want, Elizabeth, if you had a magic wand, you know, like a Harry Potter magic wand, and you wipe it up and you say, abracadabra, I want, would you rather stay here or live somewhere else? I mean, why not just stay? You have a lovely home, nice neighborhood, plenty of room. Why not just stay? Flip it and see what they say. And don't be attached. You see, your neediness, your attachment to they need to be ready now because I need to get paid now is what's going to push a lot of business away. I'm here to tell you, some will be ready now, some will be ready soon, some will be ready down the road, and some will never be ready. That's why you're running two systems simultaneously, getting new leads, constantly feeding the machine while following up with those you have. And with those you have, some you discard. And the number one reason to discard is because they don't have motivation, they don't have a problem, they don't have any solid reason or desire. They would not really be better off living somewhere else. Second reason, they're assholes. Some people are jerks. Some people will try to take advantage of you. They are not easy to work with. They are not motivated. They're not willing to work with you. Gone. Next. Because there are hundreds of others who are. There are hundreds of clients in your neighborhood, in your area, who want a good agent, who will pay a good agent, who need a good agent. Your job is to find them, to create connection with them, trust, and to help them. Rinse, repeat. That's the whole secret. Don't make it any more complicated than it is. It is not complicated. All right, Elizabeth? So you need to feed more. Don't get stuck on one. Don't ever get stuck on one. Yes, Jenny, you're absolutely right. Establish a relationship. That is exactly right. And in that relationship, you position yourself as the advisor, as their guide, high status agent, confident, in control, but who is also kind and understanding and patient. Imagine your dentist would call you and say, I'm ready to do your root canal. But I don't need a root canal. I know, but don't you have something I can drill? No, my teeth are fine right now. Damn it. That would not be a very good dentist, would it? So you don't want to do that. So keep in touch. Now, on the other hand, if there is, and sometimes there are solid reasons or barriers or delays, very often they're emotional. I had an area where I worked, Whittier, California, where a lot of the sellers I dealt with were in their 60s and 70s. And to them, to sell a house, to let go of their memories and Thanksgiving and raising their children, sometimes grandchildren in the house, was not that easy. And it was a process for them to let go. That I couldn't just come in and say, ready to sign? Right there. That would put them off, turn them off. So it took time, some hand-holding and patience, and kindness and understanding. But I was still prospecting for more because at a certain point, these people said, we got to do this. But because I established trust and relationship over time, the process was easy. Getting a listing appointment should not be hard. It's just another logical step with somebody who they like and trust and are familiar with already. Are you following how it works? Now, sometimes you can do it in hours, sometimes in days, sometimes in weeks, and sometimes it does take months. That's why you have good system, nice motivated leads coming in. Some convert now, some a little later. You follow the process. You do this daily. That should be your daily activity. Generating business, following up. Generating new business, following up. Generating new business, following up. You should be spending hours and hours doing that, especially if you're not making $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year. Because you're not making $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year for two reasons. You don't have a system, you don't take action. That's it. Well, the third one is mindset. Mindset, systems, action. That's it. And I'll help you with that. I wrote a book on it. I have systems about it. I have classes on it. That's going to be part of the bootcamp. We're going to work on that. How do you develop this consistency? Because friends, if you struggle with such primo quality, easy leads who are raising their hand, you can find in minutes like expired listings, don't expect that there is another lead source that's easier. There isn't. That's why I teach the bootcamp on expireds, because for those of you guys who want listings now, who need business now, I'll show you that there is no faster way. Even this one will take some time. I'm not going to blow smoke up here as in pretend, oh, it's easy, you're going to have 50 listings your first month. No, it won't. It's going to take work and effort. But I am here to contest. Show me a better, easier, faster, less expensive way. I'll be more than willing to agree, saying, all right, you're correct. So far, nobody has. Yes, it requires work. Yes, you need to master communication, you need to master certain systems, but you need to master them regardless of where your leads come from and how you do your follow-up. Are you with me on this? All right. Lisa says, I worked with my most recent client for a year before he was ready to go. And sometimes that's what it takes, Lisa. And I applaud you that you stay with it, because I'd rather stay and follow up with a lead for a year than drop them too soon, not have a chance to help them because I know they would be in good hands with me or you, and have somebody else take over, and usually the other choice, not that great. But here's the thing, don't get stuck just on that client. Don't just wait when they're ready. You keep looking for more constantly. That's why you split your day. Lead generation, follow-up. Lead generation, follow-up. I mean, what else is there to do? Unless you have 1 or 2 good listing appointments lined up this week, that's what you got to do. Keep lead generating, following up. Lead generating, following up. Make sense? Yeah? All right. So, come hop on the bootcamp. Here is the URL, goborino.com/bootcamp. We're closing the registration on Sunday, this Sunday, because starting August, is it 15th or 16th? When do we start? Let me pull up my calendar real quick. 15th, Thursday, 11 a.m., 1100 hours. We're starting the bootcamp, 5 intense weeks. We'd love to have you. You'll get the book on the expireds, you get the marketing library, you get the whole thing. You get even this. This is a good thing that you should deploy in your follow-up. Check this out. This is what you can use as part of your follow-up with expired listings. You're going to put an expired package together. If you want to use mine, come do the bootcamp. I'll give you mine. You can personalize it. It's ready to go. There's a personal brochure, a letter. There is a market snapshot, some marketing materials, and a note. Hey, Jim, 8 homes sold recently in our neighborhood and values are going up. Would you consider selling if the price was right? Please text or email me and let me know. Borino Real Estate, borino@expiredplus.com, plus my phone number. That's a good follow-up piece. You can drop it off, you can mail it, this works. Now you're going to get a whole bunch when we do the bootcamp. You can do this too. This is not rocket science, it's just easier if I already have that stuff for you. All right, so use that. All channels, all the time. Yes? Was that helpful? Has this been helpful? Yes? Good. Warner says, what is IGS? Where is, oh, lead generation systems. LGS. LGS are lead generation systems that provide you data providers like Espresso Agent, Vulcan, Sales Dialers, RedX, Landvoice. These subscription services where you get the contact information aggregated on expireds and for sold by owners. Okay? That's what it is, LGS. Lead generation, so that's what you need, good systems. Lead generation systems, lead data providers, and contact management system. Está bien? All right, my friends, this is the message today. Looks like I answered. Eldon, good? Yes? Warner says, thank you. My pleasure. All right, guys. Thanks for being here today. Hope you enjoyed this session. Make your follow-up simple. Don't overcomplicate it. It doesn't need to be too complicated. But it needs to be repetition. Important. It needs to be creating awareness. That means use your photo on it so they can become aware of you and familiar with you. You need to create comfort. Less selling. It's not about you, it's about them. Focus on them, their need, their desire, their problem. You're going to build trust. You're going to build connection. The best way to do that is have conversations with them. Be helpful. Notice what I do. I am helpful. I'm here to help. Whatever I can do for you, I want to do. Yes? Including investing 5 weeks of my time to turn you into an expired lock star. All right. Very good. Warner has a question. Best one. I use my dialer Zencall as my CRM. Do you think that's okay? Or should I use another CRM that's a dialer? I would recommend use a separate dedicated CRM, contact management system, because everybody should be housed in one central place as far as your contact management system. That means your current clients, your past clients, your future leads, everybody. Everybody should be in one central place. Because this way you can devise and design campaigns to specific targets, like expired listings should have a dedicated follow-up sequence, very different from FSBOs because the psychology is different, the mentality is different, the goals are different. And then occasionally you will need a campaign that goes to everybody, where you can cross-reference things, where you can demonstrate your capacity, your status. But you want everybody in one place where your assistants can look up, you can devise these campaigns to all of them, and they need to be housed in one central place. So having your dialer, if you can upload all your leads there, is fine, but if you cancel your subscription or go to somebody else, now you have to move them. So having a dedicated your system will keep you independent whether something happens to your company, God forbid, you decide to change companies. These are your leads that you protect, you control, and have full access to without anybody else potentially fucking with your leads. I heard stories, many things happen. Your leads is your business. Nobody else should have potentially access or set restrictions on who can do something with it. Are you reading between the lines what I'm saying? So spend a few dollars. Most of these systems are not expensive at all. LionDisc will set you back, what, 20, 25 bucks a month, totally money well spent. Realty Juggler is even less. So those are good, robust systems. Yeah? Eldon has a question. I'm deciding between the two, bootcamp or expired listing plus. Eldon, that's a good question. I would recommend do the bootcamp with me, because not only will you get the expired system, you get the whole thing, the whole program, the $397 program that comes with the bootcamp, but I'll help you set it all up. So there's no downside to it. It's $197 a month. Now at the end of the bootcamp, you say, you know what, I don't want to do the path with you. That's fine. You just call us, email us. There's even a button on the website. You click. You want to cancel, it's fine. No hard feelings. You know what I mean? But you will have direct access to me. You will have accountability. You will have support. We'll set up daily and weekly goals and milestones for you. Because what happens sometimes, you have good intentions. You get my FSBO system, or you get my expired system, or you get any of my systems. And then kind of life happens. Things get in the way. And I'm just as guilty. I'm not pointing fingers. It happens to me. I still have a system here on my shelf. You want to see? I think I still have it here. I bought this a couple of years ago. Let's see if I still... Oh, yes, I do. So I can show you guys. I'm just as guilty. I paid $2,500 for this. This is a really good course. It's really good. Now notice something. It's been sitting shrink wrapped. $2,500 I paid for this. Lots of good information there. Dusty. Shit. And it's just sitting on my shelf. Why? Because life got in the way. I got busy. I got distracted. So now I'm just using it as a demonstration that you're not the only ones. That's why I have the bootcamp. So the book that you get from me and the systems and everything else doesn't just sit on the shelf, that you put it to use. You help people, you find clients, you get listings. That's my goal. We had Krista and Luke from Michigan came on board in January, 12 listings. Now I'm not saying you're going to get the same results. I can't promise you that. But I promise you I will stay with you over the course of the 5 weeks we're going to spend together until you get it, until you understand, until you have it implemented. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be operational. And then we'll tweak it, we'll work with it. Okay? So we'd love to have you on board. Now, if you just want to get the system, go to expiredplus.com, order it. You'll have it in 2-3 days. You're on your way. Either way is fine. Just do something. Cool? All right, my friends. And with that, I will type in the URL here. Come join the bootcamp. Expired bootcamp. Boom. All right. 5 tips that will help you today. Was that helpful? Did you take something out of it? Now here's the most important part. Take action. Because even imperfect, partial action today is way more better, way more impactful, way more significant to your business than good intention tomorrow. Do something. Sign up for the bootcamp, set up your CRM, go get a lead source system, start, begin. Take the first step. Yes? With that, Coach Borino signing off. Thank you for being here today. I'll talk to you real soon. As I always say, let's go get 'em. Ciao. Bye, everybody.